Welcome to day 4 of the Dominion Allies previews. And first of all, I want to give a big thank you to all of you 555 subscribers. Thanks a lot for subscribing, but now let's jump into previews. Recursion. Recursion is a smaller sub-theme of the set. Ways to get a card back somehow. First, it's another split pile, the Wizards. Okay. So, +1 action. Starts with a student. 3 cost +1 action. You may rotate the Wizards. Okay. Treasure card from your hand. If it's a treasure, +1 favor. And put this onto your deck. So this is a liaison rotating pile. You can trash card with it non-terminally, and you get favors for trashing your coppers. And you put it back on top on your deck. So, pretty nice for thinning out the early coppers. Because you always can redraw it next turn or even the same turn with just a cantrip or something. But of course it kinda hurts your turn because it doesn't do anything but trashing a copper. So in that regard it's pretty bad. Unless of course the favor token is great. And then you can also rotate the pile. Conjurer. 4 cost action duration Wizard. Also Wizard is the split pile name. Gain a card costing up to 4. At the start of your next turn, put this into your hand. Okay. So first turn you play it, it's a workshop. And then for every turn where you have the spare action to play it, it returns to your hand and makes it a 6-card hand. Is that like a bit broken? With certain cards that you really want, like gardens, because you essentially can play the workshop. It's a workshop that you have every turn. So I guess the problem is that student doesn't combo with it, but if your opponent reveals a contra for you, and even not with cards, even with engine components, that's just super great. You put it into your hand, it's a 6th card in the hand if you start with 5. That's awesome. Sorcerer. 5 cost, 1 card, 1 action. Each other player names a card, then reveals the top card of their deck. If wrong, they gain a curse. Okay, that's a pretty mean attack, I guess. It's like the opposite of the sorceress, the male sorcerer, the male version here. So this attack is probably a bit more likely to hit, because how would the opponent know the top card? I guess it's only hitting once. You can't stack them, because then they know what the card is unless you discard it again. And of course some other cards would tell them their top card, but that's not that many. Like Chariot Race. Yeah, a cantrip that you can play once every turn for an attack is pretty decent, but you probably don't want 2 of them. And LICH. 6 cards, 2 actions? Skip a turn? What? When you trash this, discard it and gain a cheaper card from the trash. Okay, so I don't know why you would trash it. I guess Lurker. That's a bit random. I don't see the combo with that, but otherwise 6 cards, 2 actions. Skip a turn? I don't want to skip a turn, but it's tempting for mega turns, right? What happens if you play 3 of those? Do you skip 3 turns? Yeah, I think so. Wow, that's tactician in another way. You get the big turn now, but no plus buy. But like you have, if you play it, you have 10 cards in hands, 2 actions. So that's like basically opposite tactician. That's fun. Without the plus buy, but also it works every time. You don't have to discard anything. Well, you basically discard the whole next turn. What am I doing? What am I saying? Wow, that's like the first what the WTF card of the set, I think. From mechanic wise, not power level wise. I don't know if it's even that strong, but for the last turn, if you can end the game, that's quite something. Uh, okay, more cards. Two more recursive cards. Merchant Camp. 3 cost, 2 actions, 1 coin. So just a village with no card, but a coin instead. When you discard this from play, you may put it onto your deck, but it can be there for you every turn. Okay. So if you have 5 of these, you can have a guaranteed 5 coins every turn, but why would you? um, Seems pretty weakish. I don't really want a Necro with a dollar with a coin on it every turn in hand, unless like there's no better option or a way to have also a Smithy on top of the deck or something. Seems kind of weak, but I don't know. Highwayman, 5 cost, action duration attack. At the start of your next turn, discard this from play and plus 3 cards. Until then, the first treasure each other player plays each turn does nothing. The first treasure you do does nothing. I hope the auto-play treasures isn't bugged with that, so that you always play the worst kind of thing online. But, but you just would have to be careful to play the worst treasure. Is there even a negative kind of treasure that you wouldn't play? Like, no, I don't think so. I mean, lucky coin or cursed gold, but it does nothing. Does nothing also means gets you no money, I guess. And then it's a +3 duration, +3 cards on the next turn, and you get to discard it from play, which has a benefit because you can play it again if you draw it. That's nice. That's the problem of most of these duration cards, that you have to buy so many of them to have a working deck. But this way you can buy like about half of them and they still work every turn. So that's pretty good. And +3 cards on duration turn is like Haunted Woods. The attack is a bit like Bridge Troll, but could be better if they have only powerful treasures. Of course, it's worse if they don't have any treasures. So also pretty decent. Could be a counter to like Counterfeit, because if they only have 2 treasures in hand, they can't use Counterfeit effectively. I mean, I already like the top card part without the attack, and the attack is kind of interesting. It's new. It's nothing that has been done before, but nothing that would be like terribly disruptive of the opponent's turn. I like that design. I don't really like Merchant Camp. Okay, and we get 2 more. What's in my eye? Ah. We get 2 more allies, like every time. Every time. Island Folk. At the end of your turn, if the previous turn wasn't yours, something's in the eye. That sucks. So, at the end of the turn, if the previous turn wasn't yours, you may spend 5 favors to take another turn. So, that's like Outpost or Mission or how's it called? Seize the Day, but much better. Because no downside other than having to spend some resources, and depending on the favor token generator, if it's underling, which gets you a bunch of favors, or like broker, which you can treasure gold for to get 6 at once, that's insanely good, insanely easy to do it, and it's probably worth it to just invest into a bunch of underlings for that. So this one seems very strong and makes me want to gather a lot of favors. And you don't even have to do it. You can save the favors for later when you know you have better turns coming up. And Order of Masons. When shuffling, you may pick up 2 cards per favor you spend to put into your discard pile. Oh, nice. So, like, imagine I shuffle once and spend 1 favor. I can pick 2 victory cards and leave them in the discard pile, so the deck gets much cleaner. That's pretty good value because it's 2 cards per favor. I've done it for like 1 card per favor with the Haven, Coastal Haven, and here it's 2 cards per favor to get a cleaner shuffle. That's amazing. You can use it for victory cards, for curses, for treasures even that you want to draw at the very last. Sometimes you have mountain villages in deck and want to have a good card in the discard. Sometimes you have Swashbuckler and you want to have it generate coins. You might... What else cares about the discard pile? Like Hermit might want to trash an estate. Could even see... Yeah, it's probably very good to even use it on the turn 2 to use your 1 favor that you have at the start and just keep an estate out of the shuffle. That could be pretty valuable. Is that something else that cares about the discard pile? Being like full settlers? Yeah, settlers and border village. Not border village. Settlers and bustling village. Yeah, those would love to have a copper and a settlers in the discard every time. So, pretty all-around useful and with certain combos even very strong. I like those two. I mean, Island Folk seems very, very good, and Order of Masons seems very useful. Okay, thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow for the last day.